Alive is more than the six. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, trains out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Hello there. I'm just after getting off the phone with Daniel Kinahan. He's just informed me that the biggest fight in British boxing history has just been agreed. Get up there, my boy! Big shout out, Dan. He got this done. Literally over the line. 2-fight deal. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua next year. One problem. I just got to smash Deontay Wilder's face right in the next fight. And then we go into the Joshua fight next year. So there we are. The Gypsy King versus AJ is on for next year, but there's a hurdle in the road called the Bronze Bomber, aka the Knockout King, and I will get onto him and knock him spark out, and then we got on to the big fight. So big thank you, Dan, for getting this deal over the line. All the best. God bless you all. See you soon. Peace out.
You know, obviously you're becoming a free agent. Bob said if you know, he would talk to you about individual fights. He mentioned Spence. He mentioned Josh Taylor. Is there any individual fight out there that appeals to you more than others? And secondly, when do you make the decision? How do you kind of go through it and come up with your decision?
Well, I'm pretty sure my decision is made already. You know, Bob couldn't secure me the Spence fight when I was with him. So how you going to secure me the Spence fight when I'm not with him? So, you know, I'm moving forward with my career right now. And I wish everybody the best.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Moaning.
Moaning.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. I got Art Hostage in the building. And we got some things to discuss. First, let me salute to everybody in the building. Eric H, Adrian Vent, Thomas, what's good? Mr. Shelton, Dwayne Jones from ATL, my brother, Mansa Musa, what up? NY Willis, Vince, what's good? Combat Tool Bag. Y'all make sure I go subscribe to my brother Combat Tool Bag. Brooklyn C, Jermaine Jubilee, Rick Blackwell, 704 Joe, Slim Hussein, Steve Elder, Mac in the building. My brother, there you go. Jeff Spark. Big homie Coop. Viva tu vida, salute. Ratchet since 91. Tay D. Wait, real quick. Thomas and Viva tu vida, real quick. Last week, Castle Hill, the post office gets robbed. They steal $100,000. Right? They pistol whip an employee and snatch a bag. Ran into the post office and took the money order machine. Right? That same day on Valentine Avenue, somebody got blasted. Valentine off of Fordham Road. Closer to the park. What the fuck's going on? And then the week before that, the jewelry store got robbed on Fordham Road. This shit is connected. Bronx on deck. Tay D, Johnny Q, Ad Solo, Fresh 75, Ring Dragon, Tay Tay, good morning. It's a fucking war zone out here. CB Sports, salute. David Hyde, Rod Neal, what's good? George! Yup. Getting shit done, yup. Yup. The Brothers UK, salute, bro. Black Alpha, Rob Singleton, Kevin Dunbar. That's my brother right there. Andrew Gray, Jason. Thomas Morris, salute. Jay Gibson, the winning team's in the building. That dude named Dave, salute, bro. Can't wait to meet you, brother. Can't wait to meet all of y'all. I'm hype. I got my days off. I'm happy. You know, it's hard. At transit, getting days off, it's Jesus. You literally have to fight. Gregory X, Gerard M, Mo City Menace, salute, brother. Yes, sir. I rock. What up, bro? Brian H, good morning, counselor. Kane, the bad guy. I got everybody. Teach, what up? Jay, DB Martha Track, Sid Mark, Young World, Chilltown Mages. All right, let's get it. So there's been a lot of movement lately, and there's a lot of shit happening. It's kind of weird. 1 minute, Fury's talking about, hey man, I'm retired. My wife said, I don't want you getting punched on in your face no more. Xavier, what up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dave, we gonna have fun, bro. King Corleone in the building, salute. I took off Thursday, Friday, and of course Saturday. Oh, there he is. There's my man. There's my man right there. Gotta cue this up for him. MP.
What?
The fuck? What's good? Big Cup of Joe, what up? So there's been a lot of movement lately. Now, for the fans, I mean, hey man, that's dope. Because we're fight fans. Von D Gaming, salute. We're fight fans. Black Undertaker. So I'm like, all right, this is great. All this new, okay, if you're a Fury fan, all right, fuck you, but whatever. You know, so he went from, I'm retired, my wife don't want to see me getting hit up in my face. Those 3 fights with Deontay took it out of me. I don't want to do this anymore. So after Dillian White, I'm done. Cobb Keller, salute. Windsor, salute. He says, I'm done. I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna miss you, whatever. Fuck you, right? Then he starts sending AJ like video messages talking about, I fight you for free. Y'all remember that? It was just recently. I fight you for free. I'm gonna email you the terms, or say, I sent you the terms. I'm like, what is wrong with this? Okay, he's on that shit again. He's niffing again. I'm like, okay, whatever. This is what he does. Jamal Davis, salute. So I'm like, all right, this is nothing new. Him being erratic and ridiculous. Then, exactly, George. Then he wants $1 billion to fight Usyk. The messenger, salute. Then he wants $1 billion to fight Usyk. But back to AJ, we're like, yo, AJ's coming off of 2 losses. What the fuck are you doing? I'd like to see what would happen if anybody chose to fight somebody losing two in a row. That's ridiculous. Geo James, salute. That's ridiculous. I'm like, God damn, well, what is he doing? I said, man, he's just talking again. This is what he does. Then there was a disturbance in the force. Now, y'all know my stance on, EJ and Bud. I said this fight needs to happen for the culture. But y'all also know what I was thinking the holdup was about this fight. So then the family gets detailed. Well, everyone has sources. So yeah, Dave, he gonna be there. Soul Power, what up? So then he gets our brother. Salute to our brother Ricky Williams. He got some information, and I'm not gonna question anyone's sources. The people love to question our sources. They love to question our sources. I'm not gonna question the sources, but he said he had it from a good source, and the date that he had, I believe, was the 29th. So I'm like, bet, I'm all for it. I fucks with it. Cool, because we need this fight. Edgar, what up? We need this fight. I said, good, I fucks with it. Right? Then Mike Cappinger says the 19th. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is this? Right? And I got to show y'all something. So our brother Ricky Williams, whom I totally believe my brother, he got word that it was the 19th. Now, if I'm wrong he got word on the 29th. That's the word we got, right? Right, that's the word we got, the 19th, right? The 29th from Ricky. Then we got the 19th from Mike Cappinger. I don't like Mike Cappinger. All right, he walks funny and all that good shit, right? Gnarly Ray, salute. Main boxing biker, salute. So I'm like, what's going on, right? And then our brother BFTB, he takes a picture of a tweet of Errol. There you go, right there. And I'm like, uh-oh. Like, wait a minute. Is that for Mike Cappinger? Like, nah, you just got the date wrong. You about 10 days off, my friend. Is it one of those, or is it like just the overall? Y'all remember when Manny Pacquiao was running around talking about signing a contract, and Floyd kept going out on his social media? Like, yo, what contract? What are you talking about? Y'all lying. On Senior X, I just sent the email on how to contact Tay. Hit him up, brother. I just sent you the email. You know, and so now I'm concerned because I want this fight to happen. And then, you know, Fury says he don't want to wait. He want to fight AJ for free, but wants $1 billion for Usyk. Now he don't want to wait. So now he's going to fight AJ, and they're in negotiations. I don't believe a fucking word Eddie Hearn says, but whatever. David Hyde, salute. So now I'm like, damn. I didn't need to see that Errol Spence tweet. Mark Wunderlich, salute. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, come on, man. Can someone be telling the truth for once? And I'm not saying our brothers are lying. I'm just saying the overall information, because we want this fight so bad. And I'm like, why would Errol? What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? So we got that going on. We got Errol and Bud. We got Fury, you know, fucking around with Usyk. Then we got Usyk saying, you want to wait? Fuck it, next year. Granted that, because Deontay has to get past Helenius. It's no easy task. He has to get past him. And granted he gets past him, he's fighting Usyk. And salute to Tay Jones. Remember I tell y'all? DJ Zion Love, salute. All around strong, salute. Remember I tell y'all? King Vonnie, what up? Remember who I talked to? Tay said this a while ago. That's why I tell y'all gotta be subscribed to him. And when he talks, y'all gotta listen. He hasn't been wrong since. He knows shit. He said this a while ago. So that's happening. And now Usyk is gonna be in Brooklyn. And if D beats Helenius, we got to fight there. But I'm like, why all this movement all of a sudden? That's why Art Hostage is here. All this movement all of a sudden, and we just got news that Johnny Morrissey just got locked up. Drew, who the fuck is that? Nobody knows who that is. But here's why this is all relevant. Art Hostage, explain to the audience who the fuck that guy is.
Well, morning everyone, and morning Drew. Johnny Morrissey is one of the 7 Kinahan cartel that have been sanctioned by the US. So if you look at the wanted poster, you see Kinahan, Daniel Kinahan, Christy Kinahan Sr., Christopher Kinahan Jr., and the next person is Johnny Morrissey. Then you have Bernard Clancy, Sean McGovern, and Ian Dixon. So he is number 4. So it's the number 4 in the Kinahan cartel. Now, the authorities have been investigating in this particular thing for nearly 2 years. So this started a long time before the sanctions. And what I've got to reveal today, for the first time, well, I've said it before, but I can tell you that there are sealed indictments on the Kinahans, right? And there's been secret grand juries on the Kinahans going back a long time. And this is to do with the discovery of 17 tons of cocaine in Philadelphia in 2017, which belonged to the Kinahans and was passing through Philadelphia on its way to Europe. Okay, so that's already in the bank. And I've also had it on good authority from OFAC that the case against Johnny Morrissey is a slam dunk. They've got so much evidence, it's all over for him. And what's going to happen is all the other agencies are going to step back and allow the US to apply for extradition of Johnny Morrissey to the US, where he will go to the Supermax and be given a choice: testify against the Kinahans, or you get 50 years plus in Supermax. Okay, so that's where we stand today. So it's almost we're almost there. But also, I can confirm that senior Irish police officers have confirmed the Kinahans are still in Dubai and they're under 24/7 surveillance. Okay, so all this speculation, they fled Dubai, they were here, there and everywhere, right? According to the Gardaí, the Irish police, the Kinahans are still in Dubai. So there is no excuse now for authorities to arrest them. Okay?
Jesus Christ, my God.
And also, sorry, Drew, also it's coming out now, which I told you on here a few months ago, that the Kinahans have been working with terrorist organisations in the Middle East. They also worked with the Iranian government and they murdered an Iranian dissident in Europe, and the Kinahans used their hitman, Imri Arakas, and the Kinahans got paid for that by the Iranian government. So this goes so deep and it's so serious, okay, but that's starting to come out in the press now with the terrorist connections. And the reason why it's been so long is because the Kinahans have been long-standing MI6 assets, and they have been working with MI6 for decades. And MI6 do not want to give up their assets. And the DEA, OFAC, FBI, the Gardaí, Interpol, and the National Crime Agency UK, and all the others have been fighting to get them taken down. But MI6 have been holding out, but now we're seeing the dismantling of the Kinahan cartel.
This rabbit hole goes so deep, but imagine trying to explain this, and I'm talking to the family, imagine trying to explain this to a casual boxing fan with ADD. It's impossible, okay? Then the reason why this information is important is because y'all don't see, look, just 2 weeks ago, in our minds, Tyson Fury was just ranting and he was retired. And now he's in serious talks with AJ out of nowhere, who's coming off of 2 losses. All right. Bud and Errol was dead in the water. We didn't know what the fuck's going on. And now we getting 2 separate dates. What the fuck? And why all of this movement? And now Usyk is coming to America to watch Deontay and Robert Helenius. You know what I'm saying? All of this movement in under 2 weeks now, everything got hot now. And the pipe bomb is this guy, Johnny Morrissey, getting locked up. There's a connection there. Everyone's feeling more safe to move now with whatever they're doing as the Kinahan family crumbles. That's the connection. Yeah.
Can I now, I've spoken to everyone about the criminal connections. Can I now join the dots to boxing?
Sure.
Right, well, you see, what has happened now, there have been threats to Tyson Fury, right, over a long period of time. Tyson Fury wants to leave the UK and move to the US, but in order to do that, he's got to agree to testify against Daniel Kinahan. And he'll have to abandon his fan base, which are basically the dregs of society. Okay, so most Tyson Fury fans, you know, as I say, they're the dregs of society. But he's got to turn his back on those, and he'll be allowed to go to the US, and he'll be given immunity, and he can resume his career. However, I believe Tyson Fury should be forced, as part of any immunity, to admit the cheating and the criminality that went on in the 3 Wilder fights, and that can be part of his immunity agreement.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
Tyson Fury, as part of any immunity agreement in him testifying against the Kinahan cartel, must admit his role in the cheating and criminal behaviour during the 3 Deontay Wilder fights. That doesn't mean that he can be prosecuted for it. It just means that history will record the truth. that Deontay Wilder was cheated out of all 3 fights. And Sugar Hill has got to do the same, Mark Breland and anyone else that was involved in that conspiracy. Okay, and that's all I'm saying. Okay, but what's going to happen, you're seeing now. Now, Bud Crawford, okay, has cooperated with authorities. He might have to pay some back taxes, which could come to a lot of money with the money that he received from Daniel Kinahan. And that is what I think is holding up the fight now. It's nothing to do with the Kinahan stuff because Bud Crawford is now cooperating with the government. I think that the amount of back taxes he might have to pay is why Bud Crawford wants a bigger share of the purse in the Errol Spence fight. That's what I personally believe. I may be wrong, but I don't believe there's anything holding up the Spence Crawford fight now, apart from maybe Bud wants to get enough money to pay back taxes.
Sheesh.
Okay, that's all I think. That's all I think it is, though. You know, but having said that, Bud Crawford is doing the right thing finally. Okay, so we got to applaud him for doing that. And any person caught up in this, they can redeem themselves if they do the right thing. Because one thing I want to prepare everyone for is we're going to see very big names caught up in this Kinahan cartel case. People like Roy Jones Jr., people like Mike Tyson, people like a lot of people over a long time, okay, and definitely people like Conor McGregor. His whiskey is a complete fraud and a money laundering operation. The same as, hang on. Johnny Morrissey, like, has his own vodka brand called Nero, was used to launder drug money. Conor McGregor has his own whiskey brand, which is used to launder hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm not going to, listen, go and read the report. Go and read the article you got up there, Drew. Johnny Morrissey owns Nero vodka. Okay? And Nero vodka has been exposed as a front to launder drug money. And it's the same with Conor McGregor. Okay? How do these drinks companies appear overnight and within 2 years they're worth $1 billion? Because it's used to, look, here you go, his wife.
Right there. His wife, the CEO of Glasgow-based vodka firm called Nero Drinks, police are saying was used to front, was also held, although she was released after a court appearance yesterday. That's Conor McGregor's vodka.
No. That is Johnny Morrissey's vodka.
Morrissey's vodka. I'm sorry.
Right. Conor McGregor has his own brand of whiskey, which is exactly the same. It's being used by Daniel Kinahan as a money laundering operation, and that will come out later on. You can go and look. What is Conor McGregor's whiskey brand called? I don't know. What is it? Conor McGregor's got a very big whiskey company worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, now that is the same as Nero vodka. You can go and type it. But I've been saying this, Drew, for months, and everyone keeps laughing at me and saying I'm an idiot. Okay, but it's starting to be proved true.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
His whiskey is named, let me see. I'm Googling it right now. Proper 12?
I don't know. Yeah, Proper 12, is that it? Yeah, well, that is a front for laundering Daniel Kinahan's drug money.
Holy shit.
And listen, when Daniel Kinahan was trying to have a deal with Conor McGregor, it got a little bit heated. And Daniel Kinahan, like, smashed up one of Conor McGregor's bars in Dublin. It's in. You can go back and see on Google. The place got smashed up and firebombed. They firebombed it.
What?
Yeah. What happened was Daniel Kinahan wanted a bigger share in the whiskey. Conor McGregor was holding out. So Daniel Kinahan firebombed one of his bars and they came to an arrangement.
When did this happen?
A few years ago. Conor McGregor's bar in Dublin firebombed. Stick that in there, you can find it. But that was just a reminder of who Conor McGregor was dealing with.
I'm looking that up on Google right now.
Yeah, you see, that's how the way they operate. It's the same with Bob Arum. Right, they were going to sign a contract and Daniel Kinahan used the Godfather quote. He said, Bob Arum, either your brains or your signature is going to be on the contract. And Bob Arum then ran to the FBI and became a participating informant.
Oh shit.
I do like these reactions that you've got through. It's wonderful. This is pure raw podcasting. There's no editing, no censoring or anything, and it's just wonderful to see.
Oh my God. Hold on. Oh my God. Oh.
Can you pull the article up for me?
Yeah. Look, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Wait a minute. I didn't know anything about that. Wait a minute. Let me share that one. What the fuck? What in the name of the Godfather?
I told you.
Right here. This was Conor McGregor's pub in Ireland targeted with petrol bombs. No injuries or damage done in the incident. We didn't hear anything about this shit.
Yeah, but how can you target somewhere with a petrol bomb and do no damage? That's a bit misleading, isn't it? The Black Forge Inn.
Conor McGregor's newly renovated Dublin pub was targeted by criminals with the petrol bomb late Wednesday, but no injuries occurred and no damage was done to the property. The Black Forge Inn, a posh night spot in that McGregor has been touting on his social media channels since buying the restaurant in 2019 for approximately $2.2 million, confirmed the incident in a statement issued to MMA Fighting on Thursday. After hours last night, it appears that criminals made an unprovoked effort to inflict damage to the Black Forge Inn. Black Forge Inn management said in a statement, there was no damage done to any patrons, employees, or the Forge, and Mr. McGregor was not on the premises at the time of the incident. The Gardaí they have opened an investigation to the event. We are open and busy as always. But this seems like a message.
Well, no, it was Drew, because shortly after, Daniel Kinahan and Conor McGregor came to a deal on who gets what in the whiskey company. What do they call it? Something 12, wasn't it? What was the whiskey called?
Proper 12. Right.
Conor McGregor's got proper 12, and he's arguing with Daniel Kinahan over who's going to get what percentage. Daniel Kinahan petrol bombs the Forge Inn, and they come to an agreement. It's just gangster ways of negotiating.
Oh shit, man, that's crazy. Yo, salute to Thomas Morrison. That's super chat. This is modern day.
Exactly, Thomas. Exactly.
Yo, I didn't know anything about that. So that was just a message, man. Work with us, or the next time we're gonna wait till there's goddamn children in there or something crazy.
No. They were already working together. It's just that Daniel wanted more than Conor wanted to give. So to convince him that Daniel had a right to it, he petrol bombed his restaurant. It's a classic mob type of thing, isn't it? Remember the Goodfellas? When they torched the restaurant.
Yeah. Holy shit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the fight game. This is the real part of the fight game. Do y'all remember that clip I played with AJ? When they asked him after he lost to Usyk, he said, what kind of advice, like life advice, would you give people? He says, I don't know. He says, always give back, but I probably tell them don't get into boxing. And when they asked him, what advice would you give someone, like a young kid? He said, I'd probably tell them don't get into boxing. AJ said that. The politics and bullshit. This is some crazy shit. This is some repugnant shit right here. Conor McGregor is getting leaned on. Wow, this is crazy. Yeah, Jay Good, he's getting strong armed. All of this shit. Now, y'all see all this shit happening, and let me pull that other article up. Let me go back to that for a second. With Morrissey, they call him an enforcer.
Yeah. Johnny Morrissey is suspected in 38 murders. He was a former hitman. 38 murders. Johnny Morrissey. He used to be a hitman in Manchester, UK. Okay, and he is suspected of being involved in 38 murders. Okay, let that, Sammy Gravano was 19. So Johnny Morrissey has got double the amount of murders of Sammy Gravano. So put that into perspective. This guy is a crazy psychopath hitman who's now a money launderer. And he was laundering, authorities normally underestimate, but they said 350,000 euros a day. Well, I believe it could have been €1 million a day. Hundreds of millions of euros. Now, what he was doing, he was using a system used in the Arab world called hawala, where it's a promissory note. So you give money to one person in one country, and a person in another country with the money pays them at the other end. It's used in the Arab world, okay? And that is why they could launder, up to $1 million a day, because it's called hawala, Hawala. It's the Arabic or Middle Eastern money transfer system where it's based on trust. So in other words, Drew, if I want to give you $100,000 in New York, I give it to a third party in the UK, okay, and then a third party in New York gives you $100,000. And that way you don't have to go cross-border with it. And, and so you're talking about hundreds of millions of... This is just one angle. We discussed before, didn't we, about moving them $1 million watches from Dubai to the UK. Yeah. Okay, so, and they're using boxers as mules because they don't get checked by customs. They're only in the country a short period of time, so they move drugs around, they move cash around. Okay, it's like artists. When you get an artist who's in the country for 2 gigs, well, they're only in 3 days, so the customs don't go through all their stuff, and so boxers are the same. Hellenus is going to fly into New York. He's going to fight Deontay Wilder, and then he'll leave New York. So they're not really looking at him as being a drug smuggler. So at the end of the day, that's the way the Kinahans were using hundreds and hundreds of boxers. I mean, MTK had 300 boxers on its books.
Jesus Christ.
Now, we went through this earlier in the year on some of your earlier podcasts when I came on to you and was with Kane, and a lot of people were probably rolling their eyes and thinking, who's this crazy person art hostage? But we're starting to see it all come to fruition, with these arrests. And I think if they're playing by a script, I would imagine and I would hope to think that the Kinahans will be arrested very, very shortly. And as soon as they are arrested, that's when you'll see everyone turn on them publicly. People like Tyson Fury and other people will start to be more forthcoming, knowing that they're in custody. I mean, Darren Till was allowed in the US last weekend for UFC. Now, Darren Till has been a capo for the Kinahan cartel for years, and Kinahan's paid for his gym in the UK millions of dollars. Well, he has cooperated with US authorities, and they've allowed him to go to the United States of America. So we can see the crack starting already.
Yeah, everyone's flipping, and that's what I wanted to point out, because in the last week, family, there's been a lot of movement. It went from no fight to we don't know if Bud and Errol's, we're like disinterested, like if it happens, it's whatever. Now it's like we getting dates, and Fury's nah, I want to fight. Nah, get AJ on the phone. He was just retired last week, and Usyk flying into fucking to New York. I mean, this is huge news, and I'm like, in the last week, everybody's been making moves, which is good for us. But I'm like, why now? What's happening? Morrissey gets locked up. And this is not on ESPN. All right, this is not on ESPN. Matter of fact, let me pull up the other article that you sent me. This was the Coke, the Philly drug bust.
Yeah, from 2017.
Yep, this is 2019.
19, sorry.
2019. Federal authorities are continuing their investigation at a Packer Marine terminal in Philly after more than 17 tons of cocaine with a street value of over $1 billion was seized from a cargo ship on Tuesday. Authorities say they believe there may be several more shipping containers with cocaine inside, ABC News reports. An official said the ship was headed from what is that? Chile to Europe. You know why I almost said child? Because girls are using that on Black Twitter when they say, "Oh, child," that's how they spelling it.
well, you know, the Kinahan cartel is made up of Daniel Kinahan, like El Rico, who's Chilean, and so that's the Chilean connection. This was a Kinahan cartel load, okay, that was seized in Philadelphia, but they were sending 3 loads a month that size. 3 loads a month, so that's over 50 tons of cocaine a month.
They said the ship's course started in Chile and stopped in Peru and the Bahamas before making its way to Philadelphia. The U.S. Attorney's Office, Eastern District of Pennsylvania, says the ship was then headed to Europe with a stop in Rotterdam.
Rotterdam, yeah, but that's Amsterdam. That is where Ridwan Taghi, okay, another member of the Kinahan cartel, that's where he comes from. You see the way they brought them all together, Drew? But they got the producers in South America, they got the people who receive it in Europe, and then all of a sudden the Kinahans, and they all came together in Dubai.
Oh, shit.
And also don't forget, though, that sometimes when they've got a successful trading, drug smuggling route, other people use it, like the Mexican cartel, so they then flood American streets with cocaine, you know, through Philadelphia. Because a drug route only normally lasts about 18 months or 2 years maximum. Like either it's detected or they close it down for a new route. And so if this route was good, then the Mexicans would have sent tons of cocaine for the American market through Philadelphia. So there's another connection with the Kinahans and why the Americans want to prosecute them.
Salute to Todd French in that super chat. Much love. He said, money laundering, corruption, a modern day cartel. How poetic would it be for Fury to admit under oath, I cheated the champ? Salute Art and Drew. Salute, man. Yeah, that'd be poetic justice.
I tell you what, I would give Tyson Fury 100% blanket immunity from any criminal charges if he was to stand up and say that we conspired to cheat Deontay Wilder 3 times, and I'm very, very sorry about it. That's all I want him to say in public, because to be honest with you, it is one of the scandals in boxing history that needs to be corrected. And if I was Deontay Wilder, I would issue a lawsuit against Tyson Fury, Sugar Hill, Mark Breland, and anyone else involved for $1 billion.
The whole city of Las Vegas.
Yeah, for $1 billion.
All in on it.
Yeah, for $1 billion. You know, I'd issue a lawsuit. I really would, because it's an absolute stain on the history of boxing, the way that everyone looked away. And don't forget him, right, Morris, the WBC president, right, he's got a lot of questions to answer as well if he hasn't flipped already. Because everyone can't flip through, you know, because if everyone flips, you've got no one to prosecute.
And you know what? My brother Thomas says in the WBC, everybody's going to get it. And I'll tell you this, he could apologize and get immunity and come on back to his $1 million mansion, but you're right. D should sue his ass so he won't be able to afford to pay for the goddamn thing. Sue him for everything, all right? And something like this, and we might see that because the way the rankings are being shuffled around now, they done threw AJ in the WBC rankings. So they're trying to make that Fury fight. That is a fact. But here's how this, you know, this could possibly work. And this is just in a perfect world, y'all. Deontay beats Helenius. They make the Usyk fight. He beats Usyk. He's unified now. Now, he used to have the WBC. He don't have that no more. Now he'll have all 3 of the belts. All right? AJ cannot beat Tyson Fury. That's just a fact. I don't care what anyone says. All right? He'll be standing there, and we'll be looking at an undisputed fight again. And Deontay already said, I'll fight him a 4th time. I don't give a fuck. And although Fury won, quote unquote, he don't want to do that shit again. I promise you, especially under these circumstances with this shit happening, he ain't gonna have no help. No help from the refs, no help from Las Vegas, no help from the WBC, nothing.
No, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I think if everyone takes a step back, if there is a level playing field and a fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury knows in his heart of hearts he is not as good a boxer and is not as good a fighter as Deontay Wilder. It's as simple as that, okay? And if it wasn't, he wouldn't have needed to pull all of those criminal cheating methods in their 3 fights that they had before. For me, Tyson Fury doing that has admitted defeat. He's admitted he is lesser of a man than Deontay Wilder. That's only my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I totally agree. Give me 1 second. Let's take a commercial, y'all.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit. Making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
That's our brother Focus Ball. He's in the chat right now. He also is fighting this Saturday, y'all. I mean, not this Saturday. On the 15th, he got a fight. So we're gonna have to head to Queens, and then after he's done, we're gonna have to run back to Brooklyn. Hell yeah! Go ahead, Art. What you gonna say?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, and also, you see, there's a few people that have known all about this for quite a while and have had to hold their tongue and be very, very quiet. And every now and again, they sort of let something slip because they can't help it. Deontay Wilder was another one in recent weeks. He sort of gave a cryptic message when he said Tyson Fury, yeah, he won't be coming back. A lot of people know a lot more on the inside, but they've been told they can't sort of speak about it. It's embargoed. Thankfully, right, I don't care. I just talk about things straight away so everyone's known for months what's going on. But I think, you're going to start seeing people confirming a lot of what I've been saying over the last few months.
Man, this is amazing. This is some shit. Who's the dude that writes all those gangster films?
Martin Scorsese.
Well, yeah, this is something right out of a Scorsese film, man.
Yeah, or Guy Ritchie.
Ritchie, yeah. This is some Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels type shit.
Yeah.
This is some crazy.
On a global scale, we're talking about businesses that are worth billions of dollars a year. And we can't equate what billions of dollars it looks like or means. But every year you're talking about, cartels. But to be honest, there's one person, though, Drew, I want to just tell people about. His name is C.G. Locke, and he's under arrest in Amsterdam, wants to be extradited. They want to extradite him to Australia. He was selling methamphetamine in South Asia. His business was turning over $27 billion a year. And C.G. Locke was in a casino in Macau, lost $80 million in one night gambling. $80 million. What? Yeah, you can check his name. TSD CHILOE. C.G. Locke. He is Canadian. He's under arrest in Amsterdam and they want to take him to Australia. Right? His business was turning over $20 billion a year for donkey's years. So it makes the Kinahans, it puts it into perspective of what some drug cartels turn over. He worked with the Chinese triads, Broken Two. C.G. Locke. Have you got him?
Wait, spell it for me one more time.
T-S-E, right, then a gap, C-A...
Came right up. T.G. Locke. It came right up.
Right, okay. Yeah. Right, he... Everyone, look at Drew's reaction. I do love it. It's priceless, isn't it? Because, just when you think things can't get any stranger, they do, don't they? You see, this puts the Kinahans in.
I just put in TSE and it popped up. Look at this. I never heard of this guy.
Yeah. His turnover in the last year was $27 billion.
C.G. Locke is an alleged kingpin behind the Asia Pacific-based international crime super syndicate. Sam Gore, also referred to as The Company, and former member of the Hong Kong, Toronto, and Vancouver-based triad crime group, Big Circle Gang. What is this? What am I looking at?
Click on the Wikipedia page. Click on that. You know what I mean? Just click on the Wikipedia page.
Chow Yun fat looking ass. Look at this dude.
Like this dude, okay, really is cool. I mean, he spends $80 million gambling one evening in Macau.
What the fuck?
$80 million.
Wait a minute.
So it puts the Kinahan cartel into perspective. And what was happening, he was flying to Thailand and the Australian police got the aeroplane to land in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, and they arrested him. And he's fighting extradition to Australia.
Look, wanted by Australian Federal Police, criminal status, incarcerated.
In Amsterdam he is, yeah.
Yeah, so they're moving him.
Well, no, he's in Amsterdam. He's fighting to stop him being extradited to Australia, where he faces charges of running a methamphetamine ring worth over $50 billion. $50 billion. 50.
Yo, $50 billion. Everybody in the chat got to go to work at some point. I got to go to work today. What the fuck? What the fuck?
What?
How do you gamble away $80 million in a night? Yo, what the fuck? What is this? Yo. Oh my God. What the fuck is this? What is this? Dude said, I'm at work right now. What the fuck? I got a day job. I got a retirement plan, a pension. And I work hard for mine. I make good money. And I'm doing well. And I live in New York. I'm doing well. I'm not starving. This motherfucker, he fucked off $80 million gambling. I get mad. Back in the day when I rolled CeeLo, I rolled Snake Eyes and I lose $1. I'd get mad. I'm still mad at that shit right now. Over $1. That's a bag of Doritos and 2 quarter waters.
Yeah.
Hey,
Drew, I lost $20 at a casino in 1984 and I've never recovered. I'm telling you, I never gamble. But honestly, unbelievable. You see, and if you want to go further up the food chain, the biggest gangsters of them all, I would say, are the Saudi Arabian government and NDS, the Crown Prince, because they invest billions of dollars and everyone turns the other cheek. They can chop up their rivals in an embassy in Turkey and everyone turns the other cheek. Jared Kushner, the advisor of President Trump, goes to visit and gets a check for $2 billion about 2-3 months ago. Jared Kushner. I mean, to be honest, they are what you call the legitimate gangsters. They, run governments. So we can put everything into perspective, Drew.
So, out here in the States, and salute to Todd French back in that super chat. He says modern day Cobra organization from G.I. Joe. Cobra! Hell yeah. To put things into perspective, when you see these, and I'm talking to the family, when you see these niggas on the block with their pants sagging, talking about, yo, we run our block. Oh, and newsflash. Oh, Dave, you in Chicago. They sold O Block. I just saw it. They sold it. Who's they? The motherfuckers that really owned it. So the hood, they're gonna have to, those hood dudes, they're gonna have to find new corners to stand on. They don't own it. It's about to be gentrified. When y'all come up to New York, I ain't got a big Jeep, but I'm gonna take y'all through the Bronx and I'm gonna show you what the old South Bronx used to look like and what it looks like now. You're gonna be like, what? Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, pull it up on your phone. The South Bronx used to be burnt the fuck out. Now, it's 3 a.m. You see a white person on the corner with the laptop out. You're like, what the fuck's going on here? Here? Do you know what used to be here? He couldn't do that here. What a difference 15 years make. Salute to salute to King P in that super chat. He said, has anyone else heard anything about Marv Nation? All I know is they got money that came out of nowhere. Oh yeah, Dave, it's sold, right? Yup. Unbelievable. That's what I heard. I just saw it last night. Crazy. David,
and Drew. Yeah, Drew. Talking about Marv Nation, they're from Mexico, aren't they?
Soul Bro Thomas. That's what they call them.
Yeah. And you got to remember that there's new leaders are being groomed as we speak to take over from Daniel Kinahan. There's a pair of brothers called the Boylan brothers who are in Cancun at the moment. So don't be surprised to find that someone is piling money into some of these companies like Marv Nation.
Yeah, they made a sick bid.
Yeah, double.
And I'm like, where'd that money come from? They were just doing business in bars. How do money?
Yeah, but also you got to remember the clue there is Daniel Kinahan, because his motto was always offer double what everyone else offers because we're drug dealers. So that's why I thought that the figure that they offered was double what was offered by the other party. Made me think, well, that's the way Daniel Kinahan operates. Double means no one can compete with you. So to be honest, that was a red flag. To be honest with you, I think we've got sort of mixed emotions. We could be happy that Johnny Morrissey has been arrested and hopefully the Kinahans, but it's very depressing when we find out the truth about boxing and how everything operates. I think we need to clean out the closet. And face these demons.
Well, you see, here's the thing. Notoriously, since boxing started, it's been corrupt. Fighters laying down, people cheating with equipment, the mob being involved. Sonny Liston was a notorious. He was the muscle for a crime family, whatever the fuck it was. And boxing has always been dirty, but what makes us annoyed is that when we point out how dirty it is, and it's not far-fetched that what happened to Deontay actually happened, they call us crazy, but when they call us crazy, it's coming from a different place. They know that boxing is corrupt and fucked up right now, but it's just the fact that it's the person who's losing and the person that is winning. I've never seen a fighter get so much hatred. A black American fighter gets so much hatred. Deontay Wilder is a complete polar opposite of Floyd Mayweather, but the hate is equivalent, in which Deontay is a man of integrity and a man of, he has guts, he has integrity, he's a man of his people. Floyd Mayweather is everything opposite. So I understand why other ethnicities hated him, and I understood why black people hated him. But with Deontay Wilder, I don't get it, but he received the same amount of hatred. And the fact that the American media doesn't back this man. This is your American champion. Well, he was your American champion. He represented our country. 2008, he was the only person that even got a medal. This guy got off of a fucking beer truck and said, I got to fight because I can't pay for my daughter with this measly, pennies I'm making. And from that, he is the American dream, and he gets no fucking respect. And this is why I don't respect old media. I don't respect ESPN and their funky ass. I don't respect Tyson Fury, especially how Tyson Fury has been accepted. And look at all of this shit that we've uncovered. It's at Google. You know when I tell motherfuckers use the internet for what it's for? Now, I don't know about this T-Sun Chop Lick Blop. I don't know this fucking guy. But somehow this circle of bullshit is all relevant to what's going on in the sport of boxing. It's bullshit. And when we point it out, These motherfuckers always talking about, hey man, there's no. And salute to my brother LeBron. He said, "Happy Friday, Dream in chat." Salute. And you know, I got to go here. You might want to cover your ears, Art. I hate you niggas. I can't stand you niggas. Do y'all motherfuckers understand how many niggas I stopped speaking to over this Deontay Wilder shit? They be like, yo, man, you take this shit too serious. How about this, you dumb nigga? You don't take it serious enough. You don't take it serious enough. Do y'all know what this is, what they're doing to him? You say you hate racist police. You say you hate the racist government. You hate Donald Trump. But Tyson Fury is okay.
Yeah, come on! Yeah, man, come on! Yeah, man, come on! Yeah, man, come on! Yeah, man, come on! Better than that!
Fuck y'all. Y'all don't know shit about this. Y'all don't know anything. When this guy, I long for the day that when this shit come crumbling and this motherfucker has to speak, he has to speak, and he admits to this bullshit, what y'all gonna say? Well, I ain't like him anyway. How about this? You done fucked off your brother Deontay. What you got to say about that? And these motherfuckers will go to the grave being wrong and strong. Well, you know, it was about skill, and you know, Deontay, and you know, Fury's just a better boxer.
Hello, monkeys.
I fucking hate all of you.
Monkey!
I ain't fucking with y'all. I'm sorry, Art. I just had to go on that rant.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, my view on this is that I believe Deontay Wilder is on a divine journey. And I believe all these wrongdoings to him is a test for him in his later life. And I believe after boxing, he will go into public life and he will be able to genuinely represent the people that he has been fighting for, but in a different kind of medium. I believe that he's probably got 4 or 5 years left in boxing, and then he can then run for a councilman, he can run for a congressman, and then a senator. And that's a natural pathway, but he needed these kind of oppression and personal things happen to him so that when he gets in the position of power, he will be able to speak from a position of authority, having been through that himself. And so I just believe that this is just a part of the journey. If he can win back the world championships again, then all well and good. But I have faith in what's going to happen afterwards to Deontay Wilder after his boxing career. And I think that future is very, very bright.
Yeah, God don't make no mistakes, man. He's going through this for a reason. And like I said, man, I say this all the time. When we found out what was going on, it's only in our human nature. We wanted instant gratification. We found out he cheated that week. We wanted Fury in jail the next week. And that's just not real life. Even when you watch these movies, depending on what you're watching, all of these things, the criminal does something and then the hero gets caught up, and, the timeline in that movie might be over the course of a month in the movie.
In years. No, you're right. They condense years into 90 minutes in a movie.
That's right. That's correct. And this is what we're living right now. We want Fury in jail. We want everybody in jail right now. But in reality, things take time. None of this shit might happen until like 2026 for all we know. People go to jail. People going to get murdered. People going to retire. People going to come out of retirement. We're going to find out a lot. But the thing is, we're going to find out how many mysteries in sports I'll give y'all a prime example. Do y'all remember the Lakers when their number one rivals was the Sacramento Kings? Now, on paper, this series is what made me stop watching basketball. On paper. Now, let me take it back. The year before that, the Lakers played the Portland Trailblazers with Scottie Pippen on it. And I was like, okay. And they were serving the Lakers. And then some fugazi calls and they lost. I said, okay. The next year, it was the Kings' turn. On paper, the Kings were better than them. They were Chris Webber, Hedo Turkoglu, Stojakovic. That was a better team. And they get into the fucking, what was that? The Western Conference Finals, right? And I'm watching the game. I remember I was at a bowling alley watching the game. And I watched this motherfucker call like an insane amount of calls, and the Lakers won that at the line. I remember Mike Bibby walking off the court. You ever told your kid go to your room and he's like, and the bottom lip start quivering and he just goes off to the room? That was Mike Bibby walking off the floor. And I said, oh, I felt that. And we was in a bowling alley. Now I'm in New York and we was in a bowling alley. We have no horse in the race, but we're watching that like, hey, yo, what's up with these calls? And people, Laker fans will tell you, oh, well, you still got to hit the free throws to win the game. But I said, there's something called game tempo. And the wrong call is the right call for the team. And that might be all they need to run up and down the floor on your ass, and you'll be mentally gone. Mentally gone. And when I watched Bibby walk off the floor, I'll never forget. They went to the ABC studios, and everybody was sitting there looking like, well, we don't know what we just watched, but let's just talk about the outcome of the game. And I said, oh, shit. And Laker fans were happy. There weren't that many King fans here. Laker fans were happy. And what did we find out years later? The head ref was betting on all of those fucking games. He has a goddamn YouTube channel. And he's blowing up everybody. You see this call right here? Yeah, that guy's on the take. Yeah, I knew this guy. He was on the take. He threw everybody under the bus. And I'm like, how the fuck people acting like no one sees that? Too late now. The Kings probably could have won the goddamn title. It's gone. And you find out years later, he done fucked it off. I heard, my brother Xavier told me the other day, Antonio Margarito did an interview in Puerto Rico. Y'all ready for this shit? Now, I don't speak Espanol. I told Xavier, if you can, reach out to Margarito. I need him on the show. Because he was down there talking about how the cartel got a hold of his brother and cut his fucking head off. I'm like, why? Right before a fucking fight. I forget who he was about to fight, but his brother was kidnapped and beheaded, or broke into his house and beheaded. He talks about the hand wraps with Cotto. He said he didn't know nothing, but he didn't say it didn't happen. It's coming out now. Cotto done lost already, but now the truth is coming out. How many years ago was that? You see what I'm saying? What's in darkness always comes to light. You motherfuckers, that's why I tell you, this is just life. It always comes out in the wash. It's going to come out. It's gonna come out. That's what I tell y'all fucking trolls. It's gonna happen to you. But never mind that shit. This is gonna come out. It might take some years, but it's gonna come out, man. This is fucking bullshit. What did George say? He said, goes back what Teddy called them. We be collecting good old WBC. You understand? So there's never any oh yeah, new document. Yeah, yep. I'm gonna check that when I get home tonight. You know what I'm saying? Sidebar. Y'all need to go check this video. My brother George just put this video up. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to One Round with George. All right. This brother's a former HBO employee. You know what I'm saying? And got some surprises when we get to the Barclays too. I ain't gonna say nothing yet. Got some surprises, man. We're gonna have a good time, bro. But the NBA lost me with that series because I knew what I was looking at. I was like, what the fuck? I said, that's bullshit, man. I said, I can't take this. This is what the Lakers was good for business. Kobe, Shaq, the Lakers were good for business. I get it, but you didn't have to do that to the Kings. You crazy? That night, I stopped being passionate about ball. I just stopped. I said, this is bullshit. I can't take it. Prime in that super chat, he says LA had 27 foul shots in the fourth quarter, game 6. Yes! Has that ever happened? Before or after? 27 foul shots in the fourth quarter of a fucking playoff game. Game 6, it was pivotal. How does that happen? We didn't know, but what we did know is that this motherfucker went to jail. And I forget the ref's name. I have his face in my mind. He's betting on games. I always had a problem when these refs taking pictures with these $1 million athletes before a fucking game. You supposed to be impartial. The fuck? Why are you smiling in the camera with Charles Barkley? What's wrong with you? It's bullshit, man. I stopped. I watched it here and there, but I said, I can't get passionate about a fucking game I don't fucking trust. And this is boxing. We love it, but look at how it treats us. Everything that Art Hosses has shared with you, all of this drugs and these cartels and shit, Daniel Kinahan, okay? We didn't know we didn't know what the fuck a Daniel Kinahan was until this.
Hello there. I'm just after getting off the phone with Daniel Kinahan.
Who's that? Who is that? Who? And then now we know who he is. And now we know he's involved in boxing. And Bud couldn't make the goddamn arrow fight. And Tyson Fury's, he retired, he's not retired. He's retired, he's not retired. Usyk coming to Brooklyn. But I'm like, why is this happening so close together? Now we getting tentative dates for Bud versus Errol. Why all of this movement now? Oh shit, Morrissey got locked up just last week. Oh, the walls are closing in on certain motherfuckers. What the fuck is this? Hey man.
I think you don't know, now you know.
Now y'all niggas know. There you go. Fucking idiots. Y'all remember Tyson Fury running around in Vegas, having COVID, but he was running around in Vegas, renting cars? Y'all remember that? Motherfucker had COVID. He was seen in casinos with no mask on and shit. Flew to Europe. They told us his daughter was sick, but he was just getting off of COVID. Then comes back to Vegas and gets injections. I don't know if it was the night of the fight. We found out he got injections in his elbow. Injections? I was at the fight. How the fuck you 300 pounds bouncing around in round 11 like it's round 1, and you got dumped on your head in the 4th round? It didn't make sense. But he's not on drugs though, right? Man, if y'all don't wake the fuck up and smell the goddamn failure. Tim Donaghy. Thank you, Big Easy. That's that guy's name. Google it. Tim Donaghy. Tim fucking Donaghy. That's him. That's the ref. Shit. Fucking ridiculous. This is sports, y'all. If y'all think that cheating is impossible, you're wrong. But it's enraging that when we called it out and said, hold on. What the fuck is wrong with that guy's gloves? And then we did the homework and said, wait, this ain't the first time he did some fuck shit with his gloves. And then we got up with Nicholas Asbury. He was on my show. He was on many shows. And said, yo, I went up there, I tapped Fury up in sparring. The next day, I'm getting bruised up and shit. What's wrong? I go to the gym. His gloves had no padding in it, and I turned the fuck up, and the egg weight fell out. Everyone said, "Man, who the fuck is Nick Salisbury? He hasn't done anything in his career. He ain't shit." That doesn't mean a fucking thing. Listen to the information, and then look at after the second fight, the side of Deontay's head had a fucking dent in it. Fury has never done that in his career. A dent. Here come these stupid ass motherfuckers talking about, oh, well, why didn't he go to police? Y'all hear yourselves? Go to the police. Go to the police. How about this? I told Mauricio Suleiman where the fucking gloves were. Did he go get those gloves out of Sugar Hill's house? When Fred asked Sugar Hill where the gloves at, he said, they're in my house. So when I talked to fucking Mauricio Suleiman, who's in the chat right now, I said, hey man, you know where the gloves are? He said, no. I said, they're in Sugar Hill's house. Go get them. Oh, it's not that serious. I don't want to go get the gloves. Y'all are just stupid. This is shit he said. We're stupid. We just want to ruin a historical night in boxing. That's what he said. So everyone's like, why would he go get the fucking gloves? It's not that serious. Well, he's done it before. Drew, what are you talking about? Let me show you.
Hello, my name is Mauricio Suleiman, Executive Secretary of the WBC. We would like to announce that we have begun an investigation regarding the situation that happened in a female championship fight last weekend in Mexico. The fight was between Juarez and Rigo Togo from Japan, and there was a situation in which the gloves were tampered with. The WBC is gathering all the reports from the supervisors from both camps, and we will have a hearing with Togo's management to have them explain exactly what transpired during that situation of the gloves. Here's the evidence. It is a critical and alarming situation because the so-called skinning of gloves seems that happened for this fight. We are very concerned about this situation, and the WBC is gathering information regarding this happening not only in Mexico but other countries and other arenas. We are very concerned about the matter, and we will pay full attention to this situation, and we will inform accordingly of what happens after a hearing with Mr. Togo's manager. Thank you very much.
The motherfucker had the gloves on his desk. Labada Juarez got stopped by Togo, the Japanese girl, in the first round. The gloves is on his desk. He just said, this is happening everywhere. So here we are. This is everywhere. No, you're stupid. You just want to ruin a historical night for boxing. That's how you treat your champion, 10 title defenses, tying Muhammad Ali's record? Uh-oh. That's what you want to do? You don't even want to look at it? You want to call us stupid? We done spent our money. We supported you in that green fucking, that vomit green belt. All you motherfuckers need to go to jail. And I hope when Daniel Kinahan gets locked up on top of people singing, I hope when they put the mic in his face, he starts singing. Yeah, I did all of this. I'm not getting out of it, but guess what? He was in on it, he was in on it, he was in on it, and he was in on it. Look back at these motherfuckers. Fury, Arum, and the referees, half of Las Vegas, everybody. Salute, Bob.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
And I'm gonna be like, go on, Danny Kinahan. Go on.
Blow it all up.
Blow it all up.
Blow it all up.
I give no fucks. Blow it all up.
Blow it all up.
Bitch ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, see, Drew, it's called the Samson option from the story of Samson, where he brought down the whole house. And that is what we could see with Daniel Kinahan. You don't know if they're definitely still in Dubai. So what have they been doing the last 6 months? I believe they've been sitting with their MI6 handlers, bringing down drugs cartels all over the world in a kind of controlled demolition way. That's what I think's been happening. And now the time has come that they've got to be arrested, and that help that they've already given via their MI6 handlers will be taken into consideration.
It's some serious shit, man. And I firmly believe that, you know, listen, things like this don't happen overnight. It's still cooking, and it's never on our time. It's always on God's time. The universe is 360 degrees, man. You get what you put out, good or bad. And all of these things, because trust me, we focus on boxing, but you gotta understand, these guys are moving guns and drugs and trafficking. Boxing is just a small part of what this guy's involved in.
Yeah, and also you got to remember the saying, Drew. Sorry to interrupt you. It's when the tide goes out, we see who is naked. And I believe the investigations into the Kinahan cartel will also incorporate other criminality and corruption in boxing that's got nothing to do with the Kinahans. That is what we would call everyday corruption. And I believe that the Office of OFAC and the DEA are going to discover a lot more corruption and things in boxing because of their investigations into the Kinahan. So we've got to be prepared for other scandals to break as a result of the Kinahan investigation that had nothing to do with it, that had just been going on, that weren't looked at before, but are now being looked at because of the Kinahan situation.
Didn't they refer to Daniel Kinahan's dealings as an octopus of businesses he was involved in?
Yeah.
This guy's everywhere. Y'all might be going into a bodega that he has his hand in somewhere in New York, somewhere in the Bronx.
Yeah, I mean, you know, imagine if they were moving 3 loads of cocaine through Philly per month of 17 tons each. Maybe, you know, one time they may say, okay, well, send 7 tons. Oh, also, I forgot to tell you, there was a period of time, Drew, where there was so much cocaine in Europe that had come from South America, they were exporting it to the United States of America from Europe because authorities wouldn't expect that to be a drug route. So, you know, what happens, it goes to Europe, but also they had a place in North Africa where they would store a lot of the drugs, tons and tons and tons of it. Well, because the consumption at that time in Europe wasn't so huge as it is now, they ended up sending some of the cocaine to the United States from Europe. And authorities weren't looking for cocaine being delivered that way. They normally think it comes up through Mexico or brought into the US. Well, it was going from South America to Europe, and then from Europe back to the United States of America, because the demand in Europe couldn't satisfy the amount they were smuggling.
So they were hiding it in plain sight.
Yeah, and also, so that means that American citizens have been taking Kinahan cocaine without perhaps realising it, honestly. So there's another connection, but let me assure you, there are sealed indictments on the Kinahans and Johnny Morrissey, okay, which is a slam dunk case. OFAC of a, you know, my contacts have told me that OFAC said they've got a slam dunk case against Johnny Morrissey. He's got 2 choices: 50 years in Supermax or returns witness against the Kinahans. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I don't know, we could be looking at hours or days, and then the Kinahans are lifted in Dubai, because, you know, it's like a domino effect, isn't it? You know, that. And another thing as well that I keep forgetting. Johnny Morrissey knew that the sanctions were issued against him in April, yet when they arrested him last Monday, they found hundreds of kilos of cocaine, millions of dollars in safes in his house. So why would you, look, if you was a drug dealer, Drew, and you had sanctions against you, you wouldn't be surrounded by everything 6 months later unless you thought you were untouchable. You were protected by MI6 or something like that. I mean, why on earth would Johnny Morrissey have millions of dollars or millions of euros in huge safes in his house and hundreds of kilos. If you look at the video when they arrested Johnny Morrissey, they opened the back of a vehicle and there was an elevated bit in the floor where there's all cocaine. They were pulling out big black wrapped blocks out of these safes, which is obviously cocaine. So he's either got to be completely stupid, which obviously he's not to get to where he is, or he thought he was untouchable. And why would he think he's untouchable? Well, because he's got cover from MI6. I mean, because, you know, anyone in their right mind, if they had sanctions issued against them by the American government, 6 months later, if you're still free, you certainly wouldn't have in your house hundreds of kilos of cocaine and millions of euros in cash, would you? Unless you thought that there's no way that they could touch you.
Was he really that arrogant, or did he think
No, please, not arrogant. No, I mean, honestly, even the most stupid person, even someone with one brain cell, your head would say to you, if they've issued sanctions against me, I don't want to be physically in possession of any drugs.
Right.
Exactly. So the only way that you would do that is if you thought you had cover from the highest offices of someone like MI6, wouldn't you?
Somebody done flipped on his ass.
Well, no, they've been looking at him for 2 years. But I mean, if you're laundering $1 million a day and you're moving drugs and you know that there's sanctions against you, right? Obviously, you start to try to cover your back. You try to remove yourself. Why couldn't he store the drugs and the money in another house or another property he owns? Why in his own house? It's because the arrogance was that they were being given cover by MI6, the security agency. That's the secret. People are going to try to tell people he's stupid or arrogant. This isn't stupidity or arrogance. This is, and they will try to direct everyone away from the security service angle. You trust me on that. They're trying to paint him to be an idiot. You can't be an idiot, like to have got to the stage of the organised crime world that he has. You can't be an idiot if you've got away with 38 murders.
I hope y'all taking notes. This shit is real. And I'm gonna put this picture up here just to remind y'all. There's been a lot of moves being made. These guys was just quiet. Well, not so much Usyk, but now Usyk is coming to America. To peep what's gonna happen between Robert Helenius and Deontay Wilder, since Fury don't want to wait. Who was just retired about a month ago, but he wants to fight AJ for free. But he wanted $500 million to fight Usyk. And Bud was just quiet, and we didn't know what the fuck was going on. Now we got 2 dates, the 19th and the 29th. Wilder this movement. Wow. There you go. All right. I just love this picture of Paul McCartney. This is hilarious. This is boxing, y'all. This is what it is. This is what it is. Imagine trying to explain all of this to a casual. Casual fans got ADD. They need pills to sit down and listen to what we're saying. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I know I'm full of shit, though, right? Okay, I just hate Fury. Of course I hate Fury. I don't care. Motherfucker, once upon a time in the 90s, I used to say, damn, I hate Lennox Lewis. You know why? Because he was so fucking good, and there was no American that I felt could. Evander Holyfield was the last hope. Because Riddick both threw the belt in the trash rather than fight him. And I thought Evander lost the first fight, but they gave him a draw. He fought Lennox again, and Lennox got the nod. But I was like, fuck, I hate Lennox. But that made sense. I didn't hate him. He was so fucking good, and I wanted an American to beat him, and we just didn't have nothing for him. At the time, we didn't have nothing for him. Who's supposed to beat him? Ray Mercer? Evander? Outside? Who's beating him? Nobody. Hasim, he got it done, but I knew what time it was. I said, man, he's up in America shooting Ocean's 11, got to the high altitude of Africa, and he didn't take Rockman seriously, but I knew. And that rematch happened on my birthday. It was on a Saturday. Either it was the day before my birthday or the weekend of my birthday. And he knocked him out. I said, oh, there you go. It was fun while it lasted. But that's a different kind of hatred. You see, Tyson Fury, I hate this motherfucker, for real. And I hate everybody who supports that bullshit. You support that bullshit. All right? Mark Breland, fuck you. Sugar Hill, motherfuck you. Fury, fuck you and your entire bloodline. Yeah, screen record that. Screen record that and put it up on Twitter and suck my dick. Whatever it is y'all do on a daily basis. But y'all hear all this shit we speaking about? Imagine if this was Deontay rolling around with Daniel Kinahan. Just imagine. It'd be on ESPN then. It'd be on CNN right now. I'm explaining to you why I don't fuck with this guy. He's a fucking coke-sniffing criminal. And he's rubbing elbows with criminals. Boxing is a small part. This guy's moving drugs, guns, everything that he's touched. You know how many murders he's responsible for? How many people OD'd in their house off the cocaine that he's smuggled into the country and shit? A whole fucking... Who the fuck got shot up at a weigh-in? Ain't no Bloods and Crips over there in Ireland. A weigh-in got shot up. Did y'all see the documentary with Daniel Kinahan? Is anyone feeling sorry for Barry McGuigan, who couldn't hold the fighter because Daniel would come in with MTK and pick them up? Oh, by the way, when we was in Vegas, there was a bunch of MTK T-shirts around. You got to find them shits on eBay now. They're relics. What happened to MTK? I remember Clarissa Shields was sitting there. I was like, yo, I'm supposed to face off with Savannah Marshall to promote our fight. Oh, here's the problem, Clarissa. You're in America. She couldn't come. See, that was the time to troll her. Bitch, I'm here. We were supposed to be promoting our fight. Why can't you come here? Hey, Jake Paul, you were supposed to troll Fury. Hey, man, I was supposed to fight him, but he couldn't show up. I mean, he gets air thick. Get your trolling on. You snatching Floyd Mayweather's hat off his head? Troll. What happened? I was waiting on it. Troll him. Tell the public why his ass couldn't come to America. Tell them. I was waiting for it. Nothing. But let that have been us. My people, these people, let it have been us. Can you imagine? I mean, look. They held up Devin Haney, who's also fighting that Saturday. We got to find a bar to watch that shit in. They held up Devin Haney entire camp. His dad didn't come into the last minute. They stopped his cut man in customs in Australia. That was news. And the things that I was reading was, hey man, you do the crime, you do the time. It's not the country's fault if they don't want to let past criminals in there. But no one says anything about Fury being banned right the fuck now. You see how that works? You still want to tell me that there's no racism in boxing? There's no racism in this world. There's no racism in sports. Bill served his time. He paid his debt, and he's a brilliant father. They didn't let him come in until the final hour. Fury has property in Vegas right now. He hasn't been in there, 3-4 months now? Goddamn. That's not even on the news, y'all. Savannah Marshall can't come here because and by the way, speaking of Savannah Marshall, are y'all nervous?
Very nervous, Drew. I mean, she's in a camp with Peter Fury, who's got Peter Clark in the camp, who is
Let him know who Peter Clark is.
Peter Clark is one of the Clark brothers, who's a major drugs godfather from Liverpool, who has just been released after a 21-year jail sentence and is now in camp with Peter Fury and Savannah Marshall.
What does Peter Clark have to do with boxing?
Well, no, it's nothing to do with that. He has been doing business with Peter Fury for decades, because Peter Fury himself is a drugs godfather. Okay, and his boxing has always been his day job, but Peter Fury is still a drugs godfather with the Kinahan cartel and has been for decades. That is why there's been a big falling out in the Fury family. Tyson Fury and John Fury do not speak to Peter Fury because Peter Fury is an old-fashioned gangster criminal who would never cooperate, and Tyson Fury and John Fury are going to cooperate so that Tyson Fury can go to America and get his career back. So there's now conflict between the Fury family, and now Peter Fury is still a drugs godfather. He's welcomed in another drugs godfather into camp with Savannah Marshall. But people don't want to hear that. But I'm sorry, that's the truth.
Y'all hear this? I hope y'all paying attention. I hope y'all taking notes. The GOAT got to go over there, and she's up against all of that.
Yeah,
See?
yeah. Unbelievable. I mean, Peter Fury, his day job is a boxing trainer. His night job is an international drugs godfather. He has been for decades. He's got convictions over it. And he never gave up his night job. But the boxing is a cover. And that's why, because to be honest with you, if the truth is known, Tyson Fury has only got to where he is because Peter Fury groomed him. John Fury really knows nothing about boxing. He's an also-ran. Peter Fury, I must admit, is a scholar on boxing. He knows boxing inside out, and he's a very, very good trainer. Okay, but that doesn't excuse the fact that he's a drugs godfather as well. But that's the dispute that's happening as we speak within the Fury family. And then we get another Fury relative that's murdered, stabbed to death in a bar at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's drugs involved in that. The man who was arrested for that was found in possession of cocaine. And I say, what is a 31-year-old man, family man, doing in a bar with teenagers at 3 a.m. in the morning?
3 a.m. in the morning. Do y'all know about that?
Rico Burton.
Did y'all know? It was in the news, very brief over here. Fury got on Twitter. One of his cousins was murdered. But he was a 31-year-old man in a bar with a bunch of teenagers. He got stabbed out there. Y'all didn't find that kind of weird? Salute to Josiah Matthews in that super chat. Much love. He said, why haven't Fury been all on TV? Even our Prophet page, American Dope, did 2 shows on his podcast talking about Fury's ties to Kinahan. Yeah. But you're not going to find this anywhere else. America has an agenda. That's who they wanted on Front Street. Tyson Fury, or at least someone that looks like him. They don't want Caleb Plant because he got a black wife. And he don't talk like Caleb Plant. If you talk to Caleb over the phone, you're going to think you're talking to me. You know what I'm saying? So he don't cut it.
Well, true.
He's perfect. Go ahead.
No, what I would like to say, right, as an outsider looking in, America's original sin is slavery and prejudice and racism. And today, what they do is they use it covertly. They use it in a way which you have to actually know what you're looking at to see that it's racist. The way that they suppress African Americans through business, through sport, and they put African Americans down, and they always highlight bad examples of African Americans. They don't highlight the African Americans who get to Harvard and want to become doctors. They don't highlight the African Americans who work hard and build up a business legitimately. No, they want to portray African Americans as drug dealers, absent fathers, and all of these negative stereotypes.
You touched on something. You said absent fathers, and that's perfect. And I'm glad, see, Dave is still in the chat because we talk about this. We talk about things like this. All right? And I'll say this. The black man has the worst rap in the world. And in particular, in America, where we're viewed as absent fathers. And we don't stick around for our kids. But the math is out. Go to blackdemographics.com. The math is out. 84% of us are good men. All right, 54% are either wealthy or living average and childless. It's 84% of us. Within that 84, 30% of those men are virgins. That blew my mind. I said, what? So then how the fuck are these women complaining about absent fathers and niggas ain't shit. Y'all know the lingo over here. 16% of those dudes ain't shit. But why y'all ignoring the 84, right? And going for the 16% who are responsible for 90% of the fatherless homes? What we call Pookies and Ray Rays. Those guys are winning. They're winning. I just did a video. Who's that guy? What's that guy's name? Meeks or whatever. The Prison Bay. Google Prison Bay. BAE. Prison Bay. The light-skinned nigga with the green eyes or whatever. You know his net worth is now $5 million. He done married some bitch and took half her shit. He's a glorified Pookie. You understand? That's the dude. See the Pookies and Ray Rays, they're street dudes. They got the gift of gab, but they full of shit. But they getting all the pussy. And the 84% of men said, you know what? I'm just not going to deal with this shit anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my passport. I'm going to find a woman that's in order, and I'm leaving the fucking country. And that's the latest beef right now. Women in America talking about, hey, man, fuck y'all. Y'all can leave, whatever. Yo, they're complying. You don't want them stepping to you in clubs. You don't want, they're corny, and they like Xbox more than they like women. Fuck y'all then. No, they like women. They like women that are in order. They like women that are based off of their mothers, their grandmothers, their aunts. And they behave like their fathers that were in their lives. Job, education, retirement plan, owning a business. But these guys are productive to society. And women in America, y'all done fucked them off. You see what Dave just put here? You know what that is? Y'all know what that is? March 23rd, 2023. But the passport brothers are going to, where y'all going to? Y'all going to the Philippines or Thailand or whatever? But what it is that he's showing black men how to travel. You're not restricted here. If you're not getting what you want here, you're not restricted here. You can get a black woman in another country that's not conformed to this hookup culture in America and in the UK, because I heard they got the same problems over there. You can get a black woman in another country just with a different accent, because everybody's out of order here. Not everybody. But the women that are talking all the shit on TikTok and all this complaining, y'all see how crazy they look? Fine. I seen a fucking 300-pound black bitch. A majority of the weight was in her throat. Ah, fuck y'all niggas. Y'all think y'all gonna go to the Philippines and get... Yup. Because they'd rather stay here and deal with that.
Drew, if I could just say, though, right, for example, there are just as many, if not more, white absent fathers as there are African Americans.
Absolutely.
Also, right, for probably 2 decades in Europe, a lot of European white men have been going to places like Eastern Europe to get to marry women, which ironically means that what's happening in the US now, okay, is only a reflection of what's happened in Europe. But I want to use all these examples and say, listen, this shows that there is no difference between races. There's no difference between African Americans and white Europeans and Afro-Caribbean people. If you look at the figures, we have more in common than we have that we don't have in common. Okay, and so what people allow themselves to do is to look at a bad section of any group of people and then consider the whole group of people by that. And we're doing it the wrong way round. Instead of looking at the majority of good, honest, decent, hard-working African Americans, they're looking at the small percentage of people and saying that that's how everyone should be viewed. And in Europe, it's different. It's done on class. So if you're poor and you're lower class, you are treated the way African Americans are treated. So it's not so much black and white in the UK, and Europe. It's class. If you're born into poverty, you will be treated badly. If you happen to be Afro-Caribbean, born into a professional family in Europe, you will get the same privileges as other people, white people will. That's the difference between Europe and the United States. But it goes back to what I said. The original sin of America is slavery and racism. And until that is addressed, America will never be able to move forward legitimately, in my opinion.
I agree. And our founding fathers rolled in that shit. You know, we got a lot of work to do over here, but a lot of brothers are waving the white flag. Josiah Matthews back in that super chat. He said, Art, I want to say thank you for you being a non-black person addressing these issues. And Drew, thank you too. I am a black man who lives with his wife and daughter. I raised 2 boys. That wasn't mine. I am a welder.
There you go.
Family man right here. See, there you go. And listen, I don't look down on brothers that come in with women that already have kids. I'm not saying that women that have children are bad. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is you have to pick your situations. Now here you have Josiah, that's a brother that came into a situation and it worked out for him. But it's hard when that brother, who's a working brother, raised 2 boys, has another child, and he came in and did the right thing, but he's painted with a broad brush. So when they say men ain't shit, they look at him. And this man's a working man. I'm a working man. When y'all women say, yo, men ain't shit, I get offended because you don't know me. You don't know my father, my grandfathers. These were great black men. We don't have criminal records. Now I have cousins that fucked around on the other side of the law, but that's something else. That was their choice. And in their adulthood, for those that are still alive, they admitted it. I had family. Hey, Dave, I had family that lived in the Cabrini houses in fucking Chicago. Come to find out. I ain't no fucking joke. I ain't know what that was until later. I said, whoa, what? The fuck? You make choices. But to lump us up in this one big thing, that's what I'm saying. This TikTok, every time today, I bet y'all see a fucking TikTok video of some black bitch going out of her mind over shit that don't make no sense. And just because you speak articulate doesn't mean you're not a fool. And I don't go back and forth with fools. That's why y'all come to the Painful Excellence podcast and we have that real talk. Y'all go, Dave, please drop your chat, drop the link to your channel. Y'all go to Dave's channel. We put the bullshit on Front Street so you recognize it. And we don't even call it bullshit. You could just read it for yourself. Take what you want from it. But there's 3 sides to every story. That'll be his, hers, and the truth. Pick what you want. I got to get out of here. I got to go to work. Art Hostage, let everyone know how they can find you, my brother.
Well, you can find me on YouTube, Art Hostage on Twitter, Art Hostage Instagram, it's Art Hostage Turbo Paul. I just wanted to say one last thing. Do you remember the film A Bronx Tale with Robert De Niro when he said to his son, he said,
drive by there today. Bronx Tale, right on Arthur Avenue, Little Italy.
Right, well, he said to his son, a tough guy is a guy who gets up in the morning and goes to do a job he doesn't like to provide for his family. He said he's a bus driver, but he's a tough guy. Sonny, the gangster, is not the tough guy. And society should make the rappers should rap like ordinary work people rather than try to be gangsters. And if we can get away from that gangster stuff, you know, why not have a rapper dressed as a welder and singing his rapping songs as a welder? Why does he have to look like a gangster? Because people would respect that even more. Or am I being naive? I'm so sorry about that.
No. You are absolutely right. But black culture, man, here we celebrate ignorance, and it's a cancer for us. We celebrate ignorance. There's a look in the street. You know, these young brothers walking around with their pants sagging. That means something. That comes from somewhere, and they don't even get the meaning. Brothers walking around with socks on and sandals and slippers in the street. That's how they walk around in prison. See, people don't know that. We celebrate ignorance. The motherfucker that does a 20-year bid and comes back home, he gets a big old party. And everyone's fascinated by him. But the guy that does 20 years on the job and retires safe and is able to support his family, they just look at him as another dude. We're backwards over here. Josiah Matthews back in that super chat, he said, one more thing. Those 2 boys my wife had by her previous marriage, I helped send them to college. One is a paramedic and one is a pharmacist. You see,
Amen to that. Amen to that.
More of this. This
Yes.
man came in, and mind you, I want you to peep. Dave, look at this comment, though. Someone screenshot this. This is very important, y'all. His wife had 2 kids from a previous marriage, not a baby daddy, which means she understood the principle of marriage. And it didn't work out for whatever reason, but this brother stepped in and became a father and helped those 2 boys. And look what he's produced. You see? Difference. This is character right here. Salute to you, Josiah. I believe, man, that is fucking beautiful, man. Look at Mark Wunderlich. I raised 2 stepsons, and he hasn't had the best time with his wife, but he raised 2 stepsons. And that's a white man from Utah. You understand? You understand me? Yo, Art Hosses, man, thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank everyone else as well in the chat. It's an honour and a privilege to even suggest that you could be my friends.
Absolutely, bro. You're always welcome, and I'll have you on periodically as more as the news breaks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, let's hope it's sooner rather than later, and we can have the good news that the Kinahans have been taken into custody.
I'd love it, man. Thank you once again, brother. Much love and appreciation, everybody. The Venmo, the Zelle, the Cash App. And this has been a great edition of Fuck It Fridays. And Painful Excellence Podcast tonight. Everybody go subscribe to One Round with George. He has a video that just dropped. And let's push that, brother. And let's rock out, man. I'll catch you on the rebound.
My time is coming, but the ones that hate just don't know it yet. They gon' beg and cry, cause I will not forgive them, and now they regret. But the damage is done with your name on the hit list, it's time for revenge. I done told you, I've warned you too many times, but you can't comprehend. With this black fist of mine, ain't no way to prepare for it. Knock you out the Yo Bomb Squad, the world know it. I speak it, believe it, receive it, so what more can I say? I've been knocking cowards out to this day. They call us the right hand of God. They know what the damage to do. I speak it, believe it, receive it. Not only talking, I'll be showing the proof. But still they deny I'm the best. Everyone I fought, I put them to rest. How many fighters do I have to run through in order for you to admit I'm the best? All they doing, throwing dirt on my name. Own kind, trying to put me to shame. All I ever did was speak up and show my love. Pray my people will use their brain. Drug me and cheat. It don't matter cause I'm back on my feet. Back in the gym to turn up that heat. Damn devil gon' get put to sleep. He's done. Sick of the racist acts. Why the media keep ignoring facts? I represent this country as a champ to want me cause my spirit's strong. Plus I am black. Y'all know what I mean when I say this country ain't fair to this day. Don't matter who's next, they hitting the ground. I promise that I'm here to stay. They can't ignore me for long. Bomb squad, we coming strong. How the hell did it take this long for y'all to know the shit that Fury was on? He must have been paying y'all good to hush and keep all this shit on the low. But I won't back down or stay on the ground, and that I think you all know. My time is coming, but the ones that hate just don't know it yet. They don't know it yet. They gon' beg and cry, cause I will not forgive them, and now they regret. Oh no. But the damage is done with your name on the hit list, it's time for revenge. Oh no. I done told you I warned you too many times, but you can't comprehend. With this black fist of mine, ain't no way to prepare for it. Knock you out the Yo Bomb Squad, the world know it. I speak it, believe it, receive it, so what more can I say? What can I say? I've been knocking cowards out to the street.
I have a lot of people around me, positive energy, positive speaking, positive believing, until that energy is broken. And then there's consequences behind that action.
You said that your people have been fighting for 400 years.
And your people do. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't sit up here and try to bait and not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the fuck I talk about when I say these things. Your people too. Go look up the history. Shit, hey, don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that shit. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day. To this day. Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go. Let's go, man. To this day.
Move!
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.